Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson, where we'll be live tonight for our WWE Monday Night Raw recap. But first, today, we've got ourselves a couple of news bits from the weekend. Of course, it was a big it was Double or Nothing weekend. So that was a lot of fun. The review for that is up right now.
Yes.
But given that was AEW's typically second biggest pay-per-view of the year, depending on how you view All Out, WWE's biggest pay-per-view of the year might be experiencing a change. Larson, what's going on with Wrestlemania?
So I know you're a fan of the two-day Wrestlemania, yes?
Absolutely. I thought it was fantastic.
Absolutely. It turns out you're not alone. Fightful Select, by the way, go subscribe to Fightful Select. You get wrestling news sent to you via email. It's great. Go subscribe. They're reporting that multiple members of WB staff and talent have spoken, and they have been vocal to WB brass about their preference for a two-day WrestleMania, noting that the lack of crowd fatigue is a huge advantage when it comes to having the dual-day event. Fightful also notes that talents is speculating that WWE has yet to announce a firm date for WrestleMania 38 because they're still mulling over the idea of having a Mania weekend in 2022. The first time Mania had to be 2 days, Mania 36, it was empty arena era. It felt like kind of their hand was forced. They didn't want to have a 5 or 6 hour show with no fans there. This past Mania, of course, there was fans there. They still did a 2-day show, and I think it was, by all accounts, a pretty rousing success. It's just more palpable when you have 2 days of 3.5 hour shows. You don't get worn out. There's 100%. We went to Mania last time, Mania 33, between the heat, the humidity, the flashing lights in our face. By like hour 3, it was getting to be a bit too much. You're packed in there really tight. I think it'd be a great idea. Spread it out, 2 days, double the ticket sales for WWE. I think it's a solid idea.
You know how I feel about that. You're on board with the 2 day as well?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, dude, I think there's also so many cool things you can do with 2 days. Number one, you do allow 2 matches to legitimately main event WrestleMania every year. And granted, I know everybody will point to, the Roman Reigns match for now anyways.
The main event of day 2.
The main event of day 2, yeah. But I mean, number one, it opens up a conversation. You can legitimately say, hey, Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks main evented WrestleMania. And people, I don't feel like people think of that as any less of a main event as opposed to, in years prior where they will call, for example, there was a couple years, I believe, when the winner of the Royal Rumble had a main event match for like the WWE title, but the Universal title was considered a bigger deal. And that's the actual match that closed the show. And it just makes it, I think it makes it a bit lesser. I think there's all sorts of reasons why you want to keep it 2 days. It makes WWE feel bigger to do it that way, I feel. Yeah. And you can tell, just like New Japan did this past year with Wrestle Kingdom, you can tell a 2-day story if they choose to. You can do the thing where you have 2 number one contenders. Yep. The double gold dash, where they figure out who's going to take on the champion in night 2. I think there's too many upsides, and you would think from a financial standpoint, it would be kind of a no-brainer, you know? I'm not sure how much sway
ticket revenue.
I'm not sure how much sway the talent will have over management doing this, because talent doesn't have, but hopefully maybe they'll get in people's ears, and maybe management themselves will look at this and be like, 2 days makes more financial sense than just 1 day. We dominate the weekend. It's sort of also for other promotions that come into town, granted it might kind of suck for them, but from WWE standpoint, wouldn't you want to hog as much of the weekend as possible? Instead of having like because in previous year, like 35, what happened on the Saturday before? Was it just like, was it Takeover?
Takeover.
It was Takeover, yeah.
It'd be Friday Hall of Fame, Saturday Takeover, Sunday WrestleMania.
Yeah. But having 2, and then was there a takeover that was there a takeover that coincided with WrestleMania this year?
It was in the middle of the week. They did 2-night takeover.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Jorge D here in chat says, think about the international fans. The international fans will have to either choose a day to attend or spend a lot more money to be there all week. So this is anecdotal. When we were in Orlando, we went to a number of shows over the course of the week. And being in crowds, you recognize people in the crowd from show to show.
Sure.
Some were from the States, some were from overseas.
Mm-hmm.
By and large, people travel to WrestleMania. The idea is you get there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I think that's generally the idea. If you're going to spend the money to travel to WrestleMania, especially over an ocean, you'll probably, again, this is anecdotal. This is just from our own experience.
Yeah.
You're going to go there. You're going to spend the whole weekend there. And an extra Mania ticket, while expensive, I don't know if that's going to be a deal breaker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think like anything else, if you go to night one, night one was generally considered the bigger success this year, just in terms of like the overall value of the day. And
despite the elements trying to
exactly. So yeah, I mean, there's the possibility if you're like, oh well, I can only afford one day, or I'm only going to do it for one day. Yes, you might miss out on the bigger day. One day might be awesome, one day might suck. But I mean, that's just sort of the risk, the inherent risk that comes with any event like that. I think the pros like vastly outweigh the cons. And honestly, some of my Orlando experience had a lot to do with seating. Had I known that the seating situation was the way it was, I would have suggested we go lower bowl instead of the field. Because my experience at 31 was so fantastic. It was great.
That's one of those situations that we didn't know until we did it. Now we know.
You live and learn.
Do it again.
You live and learn. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You don't win and lose. You win and
learn. We believe in wins and losses. I'm sorry, learnings.
No, we don't believe in wins and losses.
We
believe in wins and learning.
Right. Exactly.
Wins and learning.
So teach us what our next story is, Larson.
Sure. So it seems like Inner Circle Pinnacle may have learned a thing or two from a Hollywood stuntman for the Stadium Stampede match. So during his post Double or Nothing media scrum, Chris Jericho mentioned that AEW got some help from a stuntman when putting together Stadium Stampede. These transcripts are via Fightful. This is what Jericho had to say, quote, I think it was such a success. I think it's like any big movie that makes money, that's a success, and then you figure out a way to do it again. How are you going to do another one? It's the same question they asked us after the first Elimination Chamber. There's been 30 of them. So we were able to, like I said, change the tone. We brought in one of the stunt coordinators who works on the John Wick movies to help us with some of the fight scenes to make them a little bit more like an action movie because we think like wrestlers and he thinks like a cinematic fight scene guy. So putting it together was tremendous. He talked about the rappelling. And the craziest part was actually propelling down that scoreboard, which was pretty scary. But once we took that little leap off the edge, it was super exhilarating. You'd be hard-pressed to find any other 5 guys in wrestling to do that. The bit with Spears and Sammy in that room of chairs, that felt like a fight scene.
It really did, yeah.
The how it was set up,
yeah.
The lighting, the choreography, everything about that segment in particular felt like a fight scene.
Yeah, that was very obviously a nod to sort of a John Wick-esque fight scene. And yeah, I appreciated that for what it was. So yeah, that's pretty fun stuff. That's kind of cool. They brought on somebody from the John Wick movies to do that. Yeah, there was a bunch of information came out about that. I think Fightful also had a write-up. It was Fightful or Alba had a write-up about the process, how they filmed it, I believe, on Thursday and Friday. And they did a pretty quick turnaround editing it. Yeah. And I thought they did a pretty decent job editing it, considering how much stuff they did. I mean, it was a fairly lengthy cinematic match, basically, that they had to put together there. And then to coordinate that then with the live stuff was pretty impressive.
Totally. We could touch on a couple other things that came out of the media scrum. We talked about some of it last night during our Double Nothing recap. Leo Rush, apparently he's on a handshake deal with AEW. Apparently, Tony Khan said he's still free to work. Other places, New Japan, MLW, for example. If Leo spends more time in AEW, they want to keep him around, trying to make him exclusive with them, then that might change. But until then, it seems like he's kind of free to do what he wants to do. Yeah,
Khan had said he had wanted to get him a while ago, and I forget what he said, but something prevented it from happening. I forget if it was pandemic or his prior obligations. I forget which one. But yeah, that's he's wanted Leo Rush. I mean, Leo Rush is a phenomenal talent. He really is. And it's nice to see him go from place to place. I know that he had some backstage issues there at WWE. It's nice to see him get to sort of ply his trade in different promotions that allow the freedom inside the ring that, WWE, I thought he did phenomenal work in the ring in WWE, but to see him work, especially in places like AAA is a lot of fun. MLW, I've seen a couple of his matches there, tons of fun. And then now in AEW, there's any number of people, of course, in New Japan as well.
Yeah.
He's had some stuff there. So he's the kind of guy that, if he can go around from promotion to promotion and hook up a bunch of dream matches, I mean, dude, him versus Phoenix, I don't know if they've had a match, up until now in like AAA or something like that.
That's a good question.
Maybe MLW. But like just off the top of my head, that's a match that I'd love to see. We got to see him in action.
Darby would be great.
Darby would be great. I mean, we saw a little bit of him in Private Party, and honestly, it felt like Private Party was trying to keep up with him. And if they could get sort of a couple more reps together, I mean, who knows what kind of creative spots they could come up with.
Yep.
Yeah, he's absolutely terrific. There is, of course, Tony Khan mentioned that he had asked some people at New Japan if he should cut that promo on WWE's Nick Khan, and they suggested, it'd be a funny idea to do. All right, before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, ForHims.com. Hey, Larson.
Yeah?
Is that hairline of yours slowly making its retreat? Did you know 66% of guys start losing their hair by the age of 35? But Steve is here to tell you the best time to prevent even more hair loss is to do something right now while you still have some follicles on that dome of yours.
And why do guys turn to odd solutions or do nothing at all when they can turn to medicine and science? Hims is helping guys be the best version of themselves with licensed medical providers and FDA-approved products to help treat hair loss.
Hims connects you with licensed medical professionals online. All you got to do is answer a few questions, and if it's determined it's right for you, you'll be prescribed hair loss treatments that are shipped directly to your door. It's discreet, completely confidential, and means you can say goodbye to all those awkward in-person doctor's visits and long pharmacy lines.
Today, Hims is giving you their best offer yet. If you're not happy with your results after 90 days, Hims will give you a full refund. And right now, Going in Raw listeners can get their first visit absolutely free. Go to forhims.com/GIR. That's forhims.com/GIR.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Remember, that's forhims.com/GIR.
Speaking of New Japan, they announced the first 3 matches for June 7th at the Dominion show. They are as follows. El Desperado is going to defend the junior heavyweight title against Yo. We got Kota Ibushi versus Jeff Cobb. They've been embroiled in a bit of a physical feud from what I could gather on Twitter via GIFs. And then Shingo Takagi and Kazuchika Okada will clash for the vacant IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
Let's workshop this one, Larson. Who's your early pick for the IWGP title?
Now, I read, I think it was a Voices of Wrestling thing they had about all the stuff going on in New Japan. I think it was that. Maybe it's something else. It was a little bit ago. That said the idea was before Ospreay vacated the title that he was going to drop it to Okada.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. What are they doing over there? Oh, I guess, you know what? If I'm looking for unpredictability, maybe that's what they're aiming for.
That could be. I mean, it wasn't. It was because Ospreay was hurt. He was hurt, and the original idea.
Gotcha.
The original idea was for him to stick around long enough to drop the belt to Okada.
Gotcha.
But then the COVID stuff happened. They had to postpone shows, and I guess Ospreay just decided to go back to the United Kingdom, and then he vacated the title.
The original plan for Wrestle Grand Slam? No. What was the original?
Because Wrestle Grand Slam was going to be Okada versus Ospreay. And I think had Ospreay not gotten hurt, it wouldn't be a given that he would have dropped the belt.
Yeah.
He would have dropped the belt because he was hurt.
Yeah.
But things happened. He left and had to vacate. So, I mean, you can't go wrong putting the belt on Okada.
No, you can't. Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
Shingo's been putting on tremendous match after tremendous match basically since he showed up in New Japan. I think it'd be a pretty ballsy move to put the belt on him. And I think based on the work he's put in, he deserves it.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't know. I'm going to have to pay attention to these Road 2 shows to get it. I mean, like, I feel like Kota Ibushi is going to beat Jeff Cobb. I feel like
that seems like a given, doesn't it? And I don't know
Cobb's
about
been wrecking him.
Yeah.
Wrecking him.
Yeah. I've seen that in GIFs. I know you're right. I gotta go watch some. There's a couple more Road 2s coming up here this week. I got to be paying attention to some of those. And then, and I don't know about, you said it was Show versus Desperado. It was Yo versus Desperado. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about any of this stuff. I got to start paying attention.
I'd probably stick with Desperado on that.
Probably
he
would.
Won that belt not that long.
Probably would too. But again, I'm the one now, Larson, that has to go out on a limb, perhaps, depending on how these other matches shake out. Got to do some research. I'm on Road to Ultimo. Got to get trios back. I just posted on our Instagram at Steven Larson. We had our party picture up this weekend. That blew up 1,300 likes. Wow. Let's see if we can get 1,400 likes for just a picture of me and Big Platinum that I just posted during our intro today. But yeah, I got to send trios off to the Enforcer. It took some of my gold. So yeah, that'll be fun. Anymore. So we typically we wait until that Monday to do, because I think it's on Sunday night. Is Dominion?
It'll be Sunday night for us. Yes,
for us. It's at 2:00 in the morning. Ooh. For us, 5:00 a.m. Eastern time, obviously. Depending on how I'm feeling, maybe I'll just hop on here on the Going In Raw Twitch and do a watch along. No promises whatsoever. Definitely not doing a recap right afterwards. But this is only going to be like at most a 3-hour show.
3-hour show. Yeah,
probably closer to 2.5.
3.5, I would think.
Yeah.
I think, I don't remember how long Sakura Genesis was. I think it was about 3 hours.
It was probably about 3 hours, but I don't know if, they might have, restrictions might have changed back to 2 hours because they were doing Road to 2-hour shows before.
Well, I think the New Beginning shows were both 2 hours.
Yeah. If it's just a couple hours.
Yeah, a week from today.
Yeah. A week from last night. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in terms of doing the recap, a week from today.
Oh, it would be a week from today. It'd be our news beef. It would be next week's news beef is going to be the Dominion recap, rundown. Yeah.
And we'll do our predictions probably on Friday's news brief.
Right. Yeah.
Friday morning.
So yeah, if anybody is, there might be some friendos over in the UK that are up, or just some night owls. Maybe I'll take a nap and get up at 2:00 in the morning. Sometimes it's fun just to do that. And then maybe we'll do a little bit later news beef, like at 1:00 or something like that.
As much as I'd like to join you, probably this isn't going to happen.
The realist of us. The
realistic our circumstances are different too. You have your own office. I'm in my bedroom,
That's true, yeah. That's true. Yeah. If you were to wake up at 2:00 in the morning and go out to your living room, would you waken the beasts? No. No? They'd stick okay. Yeah.
I just don't have a really good place to, I have to move everything and set it up out there,
Right. Yeah. It'd be just like a little grainy webcam on you. With your tired face.
Yeah, it'd be miserable. It wouldn't be much fun. Then there's Raw later that night. I'll get up and watch it in the morning.
Talk about miserable. Do we have a Raw preview, Larson?
We do. Of course, we have this match. They promoted last week. Drew McIntyre versus Kofi Kingston, set for high-stakes Raw showdown. So the winner gets to face Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship at Hell in a Cell.
Man, let's do a triple threat here, dude. I don't know. It's going to be Drew beating Kofi straight up to lead to Hell in a Cell with him and Bobby.
I'm hoping Kofi gets the win here. What I thought was going to happen last week was a reverse of what happened the week prior, where Drew cost Lashley the match against Kofi. I thought this was going to happen last week. It's probably going to happen tonight. Hey. Lashley costs Drew the match. We get Kofi versus Lashley at Hell in a Cell, and then Drew will get his one-on-one title shot at Money in the Bank with fans back.
What if we get Jinder interfering here? Because Lashley is not allowed to be ringside. What if Jinder's like, hey, opportunity for me. I'm going to mess with Drew.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Boy, that'd be great if it was Kofi. I just feel like they're probably going to go the safe route, and because the copy and paste route is what they're into, man.
I know.
Let's get Kofi in there. That'd be rad. I'd love to see that. Him and Bobby Lashley at Hell in a Cell. That'd be sick.
That'd be great. The A-lister welcomes Rhea Ripley and Charlotte to Miz TV. So Miz is back.
Dude,
seemingly not a zombie.
On. Can we just not do that? And Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, it's going to be so awkward. Rhea's just not in a good place when it comes to their writing her dialogue.
Nope.
She's in a terrible place. Shayna Baszler is also going to take out her frustrations in a one-on-one match against Reginald. This might actually be fairly entertaining.
Yeah, I think that this will probably be pretty fun. And then AJ Styles and Omos to take on Elias and Jackson Riker in Raw Tag Team title match.
I don't care about anything Elias does. Like, why does Elias and Jackson Riker get screen time and, like, Jeff Hardy and Ali don't?
Yeah, no, why are Ali and Ricochet, why are they stuck on main event having, like, a pretty interesting feud?
Why do they have a 2 out of 3 falls match
on
on main event? We can get that on Raw. Like, for an entire hour. Could you imagine that? People would blow up. That'd be our thumbnail.
I know.
Raw was great because 2 out of 3 falls match.
The brilliant 2 out of 3 falls, 1 hour long match.
Right?
I know.
Instead, we get AJ and Omos probably doing I don't know. Anyways. All right, before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, Molecule. Hey, Larson.
Yeah?
Did you know that I share a bed with 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks, an Olympic swimmer, and a national women's soccer star?
Wait, what?
Hold on. Let me explain. When I heard that elite athletes sleep on a Molecule mattress, I had to get my hands on one of those.
Oh, well, you're far from an elite athlete, though, Steve.
All right, fine. You got me there, brother. But I can at least sleep like an all-star on my Molecule. Heck, if Pro Bowl quarterback Russell Wilson says that Molecule gives him his best sleep ever, I'm not going to argue with that. I listen to Russ. Get myself a Molecule.
Molecule isn't like other mattresses in a box. Their sleep scientists have literally crafted the world's most perfect mattress. It's got zone reflex layers that adjust to all your weird, crazy sleep positions, so you never awaken with a stiff neck or back soreness. Plus, Molecule mattresses are antimicrobial and feature 6 times the airflow of your old mattress, so it keeps you cool all night.
Molecule mattress is how elite athletes and Steve here gets the best sleep ever. Order your Molecule mattress and sleep on it risk-free for 100 nights. If you don't have your deepest, most restorative sleep ever, just return it. Go to onmolecule.com and save 20% with promo code GIR.
Again, save 20% with promo code GIR at onmolecule.com. Anyways, you want to answer some questions?
Yeah, let's answer some questions. We got ourselves a Twitter thread over there. If you guys are in the Twitch chat and you want in on this question-asking action, the best way to do it, you could highlight a message here, but the best way to do it is probably just drop us a line on the Twitter.
Yep.
I will.
White Brownie says, don't forget Woods versus Orton tonight. Oh, as well.
Yeah, Woods versus
it wasn't on
Orton.
WWE.com, which is weird. They're not very good about keeping their Raw previews updated. Anyways, a question here from Juan Guerrero Jr., Mr. Triple Mania. What do you think would have happened if the Elite would have stayed in Ring of Honor New Japan? Would Ring of Honor have gotten a primetime TV slot? The Elite's popularity was unquestionable, but I don't know if Ring of Honor's parent company or New Japan would have put in the resource to become a major challenger so quickly. I'd be pessimistic about Ring of Honor's chances of becoming a major player, even with the Elite. New Japan, that's a different story.
Nope.
I think the potential's there. Maybe not as quickly as AEW, but they could have started making some inroads.
There's no chance they would have gotten a TNT deal the way AEW did.
No.
I think they might have gotten like whatever Spike TV's equivalent is these days. I guess it's possible they could have gotten on like a lower level TV deal, but I do believe that, the relationships that the Khan family had probably went a long way with getting Turner on board. The money they had, the branding they had in place. I feel like that was just like the perfect storm for AEW to have that deal. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think New Japan, they would have had a really interesting, had pandemic not happened, had AEW not happened. I don't know. I kind of feel like they would have ended up going to WWE, to be honest with you.
It's entirely possible.
I think they did everything they could have done in New Japan.
Just about.
Bark, bark.
Maggie, favorite women's match of all time, any promotion. Maggie says hers is Last Woman Standing, Becky versus Charlotte. That's a really good match.
That's a really good match. When Asuka won in that... Wait, is that the one Maggie talked about? What was her question? Best women's match of all time?
Yeah. This one was at Evolution.
Yeah. Mine's gonna be that first Bailey Sasha match.
Yeah, that's my answer too.
That was
the Brooklyn
just
one.
Man, when she flew over the ref, that was just cool.
It's fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
Tim, if you could do live reactions at a show in a booth or something like that, what show would you want it to be and where? It's Triple Mania.
Oh, it's Triple Mania. Clearly, it's Triple Mania. Yeah, 100,000%.
Nick, with live crowds returning in July, NW considering that a new era, what changes would you love to see? Like new title designs for both top men and women titles, or complete roster shakeup, etc. You know, they could do a couple trades to freshen up the rosters, but really, if they, especially on Raw, if they keep this creative up, they're going to get crapped on every Monday night from the fans.
Yeah,
attendance is going to be brutal. I would focus less on superficial changes like new sets or title designs, and focus on what's really wrong with the show, which is not very good stories.
That's it, man. I mean, I think SmackDown on a week-to-week basis has some really cool stuff. Raw just refuses to take any risks. Both programs kind of refuse to take risks. It's just SmackDown has a really compelling A story, which kind of dominates the show. And like the stuff with Jey Uso and Roman, it's all really good stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, the bottom line is, if you shake up the roster, whoever was on SmackDown doing good work is going to end up on Raw, and all of a sudden they're going to be boring because the people behind them, the creative behind them, it's just not going to be that compelling. So, you know, I wouldn't mind. I would not mind. I am a sucker for aesthetics because I think it freshens things up. So a new logo design here and there, a new theme song here and there. I'm totally down for that stuff. I enjoy that stuff. I didn't really like the Raw skateboard ramp, so maybe give them a Raw Gate type situation. That'd be cool. But, I mean, the bottom line is you're absolutely right. Begins and ends with stories. That's it.
Yep. Metacon, as always, listening to y'all is a treasure. Let's turn Drew heel in 3 weeks after crowds. Week 1, give him his due and greet the fans face style. Week 2 gets nasty about him being the one that carried the company. 3, he claymores everyone.
Yeah. Like in the crowd? He claymores everyone in the crowd?
Guess so.
Wow. Line him up.
8,000 people he's got a claymore.
You get a claymore.
Maybe he'll do it like a row at a time. You know, like when Roderick Strong, who do you need to knock the other guy over to?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
You just claymore one person at the front of the row, and they all go falling down like dominoes. Yeah, it could be easy to turn Drew heel. He could just do the thing where, you know, he gets shot after shot and after shot, keeps failing, gets frustrated. Someone else gets the shot, and he's like, "No, that should be my shot." He takes it out on this other person, who's of course a babyface.
Who would that be? Who would it be? Because you have to be careful that because Drew doing something cool all of a sudden like that would just get him a bigger pop.
Potentially.
So, I mean, Kofi is one answer. If he screws Kofi, people wouldn't like that very much.
Nope. Will Combs with Tony Khan doing the Impact paid ads and the occasional Twitter promo like the one on Nick Khan. Do you think Tony Khan will ever appear regularly on AEW television? If so, how soon will he appear? He said he has no desire to do that.
I wish he would. I wish he would. I really do. I think that he has proven to be a guy who is totally self-aware, who wouldn't just be trying to get himself over like Eric Bischoff. And he's so memeable. Like, even when he showed up that one time on Dark and was like, 9 days from now. Like, it was all over the place.
Yeah.
I think he's terrific.
Yeah, he's really good. He's a good promo.
I mean, I don't think he'd be the kind of guy who would make it all about himself. I think you can be an authority figure and not make it all about yourself. So show up on TV. You've got some reps now. Just do it.
Anthony Tobias, do you think Ring of Honor is being left behind with all this Forbidden Door stuff going on? Yes. Absolutely, yes, they are.
Yeah. It's, you know what it is, dude? It's back when you used to say, when there was talks of, would Impact ever do, this is like years ago, talent exchange with New Japan, would they ever do that? And your point of view is always, well, what does New Japan get out of it? it's kind of the same, like to a worse degree with Ring of Honor, because at least back then Impact still had Sami Callihan, they had Moose, they had some guys. Ring of Honor, this is meant as no disrespect to the talent that's there, because they do have some really, they have Gresham, they've got Brody King, but Brody King is also showing up on New Japan Strong, so it's like he has a gateway to, you know, New Japan. They have Bateman over there. But yeah, I mean, I just don't know what they have to offer that the other companies, you know, like they don't really have any big breakthrough names that the other companies could utilize all that much. Impact has done a hell of a job staying relevant and getting in there. Like, you know, Callis was really
rehabilitating their image.
Yeah.
Dalen Dula, recently, while using a time machine, you accidentally ruined your timeline.
Yeah.
To fix this, you determined that you'll have to go back to your high school years, relive a week, and replace your principal with a wrestler.
Wow.
Kind of feel like that's going to mess up the timeline
Dude,
even more.
Who's the principal at Cordova when we were there?
It's on the tip of my tongue. What wrestler do you choose, and how do you think you'll fare? Was it Nugent?
That sounds familiar.
I think that's the last name.
Yeah, I don't know. Principals make heck of money, by the way. I got to replace Nugent, Nugent, with somebody else. There's some good answers here. Mark Henry's a really good answer. Sid. I feel like he's going to be like a gym coach. I'd replace my counselor, my principal, with Tony Khan. That's what I would do. I think he's got a young mind. He's fresh. You know, 9 days. You're on detention 9 days.
Suspension 9 days.
Oh, Regal. Regal's a great answer from Ryan.
I'm gonna say Xavier Woods.
That's a good answer too. Yeah.
LA
Knight. Oh, you got detention.
Gosh.
Oh, I caught you smoking at the bleachers. 9 days.
Heel Long Heavy. What do you think is next for the AEW Women's Division? Who does Britt face, and where does Sheeta go from here?
I would say Sheeta could get into a thing with who is a bad guy. Oh, you know what? I was going to suggest Sheeta and Cargill, but Cargill's,
that's what I was going to say too.
She's a rising star. No, I don't want Sheeta to be all of a sudden eating losses. So I'm going to say...
Well, no, she can't be eating losses week after week, but...
The big loss. She can't lose. She can't lose the next big one. She has to win a couple big ones, and then she could lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they got Nyla Rose. They got Cargill. What other prominent bad guys do they have over there in terms of the women's division? They got to stack that women's division a bit higher, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's next for Britt? You know, I think a Britt Ty Conti thing could be good.
Yeah, it could be fun.
Greg Morris, if it isn't Hangman to beat Kenny, who has the next best chance to dethrone Kenny Omega?
If you take Hangman out of it, if it's not Hangman,
Christian Cage.
Jeez, boy, that'd be terrible. If it's not Hangman, I mean, it's not going to be a face Brian Cage. Everybody else is like, I mean, no, you don't want to do that.
Darby.
Darby's not a terrible answer.
It's Darby.
Darby's a good answer. He dropped his Intercontinental Championship. Time to move up to the Winged Eagle.
Patrick Sparks, B-Man, who's winning the Drippy Night Wars, Seth or the Young Bucks?
Oh, it's Seth. All respect to the Young Bucks. I think they're doing a lovely job. It's Seth Rollins.
I'm a sneaker guy. I'm going to give the Young Bucks the edge for their shoe game because it's top notch. They got an excellent StockX budget going right now. It's all stuff that I'd love to have in my collection. Will never happen. Never happen.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the feet. For me, the shoes put the Young Bucks over the top.
Fair enough, man. I'd rock those suits every single day if I could.
I had a choice between rocking one of Seth's suits or some off-white Jordan 1s, I'm taking the off-white Jordan 1s every time.
Well, there you go.
Panda Police Club. There seem to be a lot of match of the night candidates for Double or Nothing. In your eyes, what actually makes a match of the night? Are there any factors that outweigh everything else? For me, it's story and the connection the crowd has to said story.
Yeah.
You know,
for me personally, there were two matches that really stood out as, man, this is what I look for in pro wrestling, and that was Britt Baker versus Sheeta, because I thought that the false finishes in that match were so wonderfully done, and they had every single one of those false finishes. I was like, this is
especially
it.
towards the end, yeah.
That's it. Like, that's a real false finish. It's not like, and I'll throw this out there because the Young Bucks are just sort of known for it. Like, they're the PWG type false finish where it's like, okay, I don't really know. Like, it could be any one of these. It doesn't really matter. But like with that, I was like, man, every single one of those mattered. And then there was just the entertainment element of the Sting, Darby Allin, Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page match. You know, it was the gimmick of Sting looking amazing at 62, doing shit that we did not see coming. I thought it was really fantastic. I thought it was absolutely awesome.
Sober Chad, two-parter is lol Cody wins the new gold shovel. Second part, comparing accolades, does it even come close to stacking up the Triple H at all? The second question is no.
No, not even close.
I don't think we have another golden shovel situation. Not quite yet. Because as critical as we can be of Cody, he has put people over. Put MJF over. He put Darby over. Put Brody Lee over.
He didn't win the Revolution match. Yeah. I mean, he was the story of the Revolution match, but Scorpio Sky won it.
He did kind of win.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. He does. He puts people over. It's just no matter what. Here's the difference. Triple H made sure he won, and he made sure the story was all about him. Cody just makes sure the story's all about him, but he does put other people over. He took himself out of the title scene. So is it a lull Cody wins thing? I don't really put it there. It's just more of like, you know, Cody's going to be Cody.
Nick Bartlett, instead of going to Raw, should Finn finally get his match against Walter that was supposed to happen last year? Yes, that'd be great.
I would love that. It'd be awesome. I'd love for that to happen. Should happen next.
Yeah, we kind of answered this question already. Carlos, who do you think will be Britt's first defense?
I mean, yeah, when you think about it, it's like, man, they've really done a great job building three people. Sheeta, Britt, and Thunder Rosa. Done a really good job with them. It's funny, though, because I can't really think of many others that are like, I mean, there's Statlander, who's like one of the best wrestlers they have, bar none.
Yeah.
There's Statlander. Ty Conti is good, but like character-wise, I don't really know where she's at. Yeah, I don't really know, like, who else do they even have?
NJWP, who's next to lose their title in AEW, in your opinion? So you got Kenny with the world title. You got Miro with the TNT title. Young Bucks with the tag belts. And Britt with the women's title.
Kenny.
He'll probably lose it later this summer.
Kenny's fortunes, I think, are probably tied to the Bucks. So I could see it being, like, on the same pay-per-view. Maybe they'll all lose their titles. Unless the idea is Kenny's going to be to put the stank on him losing the title. They won't lose theirs, but he will lose his.
Yeah, could be. Tyler Adcox, who will have the title longer? This is the easy answer. Kenny or Roman? Roman. Unless someone cashes in on him. Roman's going to have that for a very long time.
Roman Reigns.
Very long time.
All right,
dope.
So I'm looking at the women. They have done a good job with Jade Cargill. The rankings for the women. Yeah, it's the three names that I mentioned: Ty Conti, Nyla Rose, and Red Velvet are all there.
Red Velvet's really good.
Red Velvet is really good, and she has like a 6-1 record right now. So I could see her being somebody that Britt Baker could spend a couple months with as they build up somebody else for her.
Mr. Dope says, it's not a question, but Orange Cassidy should have won.
Man, you know, I understand that they're trying to tell a story with Kenny, and that would have gotten that would have gotten in the way, but that crowd would have exploded, and he still could have had, hey, Friday night, you want people to tune in? Have Kenny bully his way into a rematch and take the title back, and there's some heat. But man, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, go back and watch some Attitude Era, see how they did it back then. Unpredictable. Shock. But not like Russo. You don't need Russo shock.
No.
Just, you know, Russo tempered by Vince McMahon shock. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anna Jay's going to be a big deal when she comes back.
Yeah, I don't know how soon she is.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be, well, who mentioned this? Somebody mentioned this here in chat. Quote the Raven mentioned that in chat. That's the only reason I bring it up.
Gotcha.
Let's see here. On the women's roster, we've got Abaddon. Let's see here. I mean, it'd be cool for a name to come over that was in the tournament, like an Emi Sakura. That'd be rad to see challenge Britt Baker, because man, those matches would be killer. Let's see. I'm just looking for. I mean, even somebody younger like a Layla Hirsch, you know, or you run like a Serena Deeb, Britt Baker, champion versus champion thing.
Oh, that'd be good.
But otherwise, yeah, they gotta start building some of these names a little bit more.
Yep. We can end on this one.
Okay.
Patrick Sparks wants us to power rank the matches from Double or Nothing.
Okay, so we got 10 of them.
Yeah. Do.
That was your 10 for the win. That's good.
Uh-huh.
I gotta find a pen over here. I always lose my pens. I never know what happens to my pens. They always go missing.
All right, let's see here.
All right, hold on a second. Let's do this. Okay, so I clearly know what my number 10 is. I know what my number 1 is. I know what my number 2 is. My number 3, I think I know what my number 9 is. My number 3 is this one. I know, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 10, 9. I know what my 8 is. So I got 6 so far. Let's see here. What am I missing? I'll put this next. So I've got 3 left. What am I missing here? I got that. What am I missing? I got the women's match. I got Sting. I got Young Bucks. I got the kickoff match. Oh, Casino Battle. Yeah, I'll put this here. I actually like that, but yes, we'll put this here. We got the Casino Battle. Okay, I'm missing 2 matches. The women's match, Sting, Young Bucks, Deeb, Omega, the Casino Battle Royal. Got Miro's, I got Cody's. What am I missing? Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's here. Hangman versus Cage. And then, and then Stadium Stampede. That'll go. Okay, I'm good. I'm good to go.
All right, start with your 10.
All right, so at number 10, starting from the very bottom of the heap. Could have done without this match. Don't even know why it exists. Don't know why he's still with AEW. Cody Rhodes versus Anthony Ogogo. That's my number 10.
Same. I got Cody versus Ogogo, number 10.
Next up, just because, like, it's foregone conclusion, featured animal abuse, Miro versus Archer.
There wasn't a snake in there. Number 9 for me is Casino Battle Royal. It was cool to see Jungle Boy win, but I feel like there's moments in there they could have milked a little bit better. Some stories they could have really, worked on furthered in that match, and they really didn't. It was fine.
I'd like to know what the planning process is. WWE is really good at that kind of stuff in the Royal Rumble versus this kind of thing.
You remember the first Battle Royal they had it all in? How fun that was, and how like stories that we just kind of knew based on what was going on between people and the independents and stuff. How much they played into that.
Is All In available on the Ring of Honor app?
I don't know. Just being there live. I remember that first Battle Royal being a lot of fun.
All In was a blast. It was a lot of fun. That was probably the best live experience. It's either that or Seth's. I mean, Seth's cash in the best live experience moment, but All In was like, man,
such a fun show.
That was great. So my number 8 is going to be your number 9. This is a Casino Battle Royal. For all the reasons you listed. Cool to see Jungle Boy win, but yeah, they don't really milk moments that well.
Number 8 for me, Stadium Stampede. It was all right.
Really?
I thought it was way too long.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine, but I don't know. The last year's was way better. I thought it had more charm to it.
Yeah.
I thought it was more creative.
Yeah.
What the bits they tried to be creative here came off as cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't do it. It was fine. Just didn't really do it for me.
Fair enough. Number 7, 10, 9, 8, 7 is going to be the world title match. I hated that finish. I know
you did.
Dude, I was not happy with that finish. I thought you're taking advantage of the lack of rules in a triple threat match. And I know I make the joke that in a no DQ match, it should be everybody kicking each other in the balls. This proved why it shouldn't be that way. Like, they should respect some amount of rules. Although the double axe handle of the ref did make me chuckle.
It wasn't like he came out and dropped everybody with the belts like the first 2 minutes. This was like 20 minutes into the match. Anyways, number 7 for me, Miro versus Archer.
Mm-hmm.
It had its cool spots, but it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. I like Miro a lot. I like Archer a lot.
Yeah. Next up, number 6, I've got Hangman versus Brian Cage. So it's like solid match. I like them trying to do each other's finishers. Brian Cage teased more of a face turn. Defection from Team Taz, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, same. I got Cage versus Page, number 6. Number 5, who do you got, or what do you got?
Serena Deeb versus Riho. I thought it was one of the better wrestling matches on the card. I felt for them because they had to deal with the sun. Kind of, predictable outcome, but I mean that could be said about a number of these matches.
Yeah,
but
virtually
just
all of
a
them.
Really great story being told.
Yeah, it was. Number 5, I got the title match. I didn't mind the end. I really liked the double axe handle to the ref. Kenny showing off with all his gold. I thought was solid, and him winning by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah.
Solid storytelling. I like the story of Kenny going after Orange going after Kenny,
mm-hmm.
and then Pac just wanted to beat Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
Pac didn't want Orange Cassidy in that match whatsoever.
Yeah.
It created an interesting dynamic. It was a little long, but I really enjoyed that match.
My number 4 would be Stadium Stampede. Thought it was ambitious. It wasn't as good as last year's. I totally agree with that. And a lot of it was corny. But I thought, all in all, I was entertained. I laughed a lot during that match. It was what it was. It was goofy. It was stupid. I liked the bit with the cardboard cutout of Shad Khan. Thought that was funny. So, it was goofy-ass fun. Jericho, I always liked Jericho.
Number 4, I got Deeb versus Riho. Just a really solid wrestling match. Told a good story.
Yeah, it did.
And a heck of a performance considering they were, had to deal with the rays of the sun bearing down on them the entire match. They had to make it pretty damn difficult.
It was brutal
to pull that off, and they did wonderfully.
All right, man. Time for our top 3.
All right.
My number 3 is the Young Bucks versus Mox and Kingston. I thought this was wild fun. I thought the Young Bucks... I thought Nick, looking like a completely different human being, was hilarious and great. I love his beard. It looks amazing on him. Their shoes were great. Their style was awesome. It was brutal. It was physical. Kingston didn't eat the pin. Mox ate 4 BTE triggers to eat the pin, which was awesome. Thought it was just a terrific match. Really loved it.
Yeah. Number 3, I got Sting and Darby versus Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page. Tons of fun. This match mostly got by on the charm of Sting doing stuff you didn't think he would be able to do,
mm-hmm.
Which made it tons of fun. I just thought that my final 2 matches were stronger in terms of story being told, so on and so forth. So number 3, Sting and Darby versus Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky.
Everything you said about Sting and Darby Allin brought it to my number 2 spot. I am taking I do prefer the charm of a 62-year-old man doing it, trying to code red, no selling a suplex on a stage and doing a fun splash off poker chips and taking off that shirt. Man, that was rad. So the charm of that is what pro wrestling is for me. That's why I landed it so high. Number 2. What's your number 2?
Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida.
Wow. So the Young Bucks Moxley, your number 1 match. It was a great match. It was
really good. It was really good. Yeah, Britt versus, and this is by the slimmest of margins.
Yeah, sure.
I thought Britt versus Shida was great. Hard hitting, physical. All those false finishes down the stretch were great because, we were both pretty sure Britt was going to win, but the way the match was put together and their performances, a lot of those near falls that Shida got towards the end, you were like, this could do it.
Yeah.
It did build up the excitement. So, number 2.
In my fantasy book video, I was like, man, go with Shida. Go with Shida. Like, Britt is fine. Britt is fine without the title. Like, she could go another year without it and maintain her relevancy. She's so good. But I'm glad they did pull the trigger on it. That was my number 1. It's just, I thought that was a wonderful match. I love the title being on the line. It felt like a real fight. All those great false finishes. I was most heavily emotionally invested in that match. That's why it landed me at number 1.
I got the Young Bucks versus Mox and Eddie at number 1. Young Bucks wrestled in off-white Jordan 1s after losing their Dior Jordan 1s.
Yeah.
And I found out, there was like words and stuff on the Young Bucks gear. It was all like what off-white Virgil Abloh does in this design, just stuff, quotations, and like the stamp he has on the inside of his shoes. They had there in their jackets. Nice little details, but the story being told in the match I thought was pretty great. Eddie didn't eat the pin, Mox did. I thought it was a really fun bout. So it earned number 1 spot in my book, and it kind of had a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
the match had a little bit of everything in it.
Yeah.
So
I like the only one that we really like sort of differ on. I think is Stadium Stampede. I love that you just ran it down. That was great. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. Hang out with us tonight for our Raw review. We're gonna need some company to keep us happy. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.